today. I think we have, and then we will be recording this session so that we can provide this for the whole team after the session. So, all right. One more. All right. Well, let's get started then. So, hi everyone. Thank you for joining today. So, and taking the time for this lunch and learn. So I'm Heather Hennessy, the enterprise specialist for Spectrum Health. If there's anything you need assistance with, please do not hesitate to reach out to me at any time. I do want to first congratulate Spectrum on all their hard work on getting the HFMA benefits out to your employees. It's really exciting to watch how successful you've made the enterprise program for your organization. So to get started, this Lunch and Learn is really going to focus on the chapter and the opportunities there. But I first wanted to do just a quick refresh on the benefits that are available, just as a quick refresher. So with that, and I'm going to stop my video so you can just see the screen there. But so here are the member benefits that you'll receive. So we have our HFM magazine, which is print or digital. Just a few months ago, we launched our HFM magazine app. So you can search in any app store for HFM magazine and download that. And then you'll get push notifications when the magazine is available. You can read that, and so now you can read it on any device. You can always opt in or out of the print publication by reaching out to inquiry@hfma.org or contact our member services department. We have virtual conferences throughout the year, and more so considering the times these days. Chapter membership. We have podcasts. We have the Voices of Healthcare series. And in these podcasts, we talk to many of the movers and shakers in the industry, and they highlight the happenings in healthcare finance for you. So our most recent episode was a payer episode on CMS interoperability. So you can check that out if you're interested. We have talent management and development tools, special reports and white papers, plus regulatory updates. And then we have an online community that's a great way to connect with peers. You could share valuable resources, success stories, communicate with other industry experts, and join multiple groups for problem solving and crowdsourcing ideas. We have unlimited access to education. So you can see here, it's unlimited to everything you see on this page. We have webinars, which check back weekly because we have new webinars added each week. And we have, if you've looked at our schedule lately, we probably have more than we have in the past. So again, since we are kind of stuck indoors, we have a lot more webinars to attend to. We have online education courses, so over 70 courses to choose from in our online, and they cover just a range of topics in healthcare finance. We have our Business of Healthcare online program. It's a great foundation for all staff. Our Patient Financial Communications and Patient Access Essentials, which is great for frontline staff. And then we have 6 certifications to choose from as well. So you can see those here. And our website, of course, has all the information and details on everything you can learn in those courses and the certifications. So, and then don't forget, when you complete an HFMA certification or certificate program, you will earn a digital badge now. And that badge will contain metadata describing the qualifications and credentials, including how you earn this achievement. And then you can showcase it in your signature, LinkedIn profile, et cetera, to show off that hard work that you completed. And then next, so the other benefit that our enterprise members do receive is a monthly newsletter dedicated to them. And so this is just to give, it gives them an overview of the benefits that are available to them and spotlights different ones so that they can, it'll help them see what's available for them. So in this newsletter here, and this one just went out yesterday actually, but it was a focus on patient financial communications. So you can see we highlighted a webinar that's coming up on Tuesday for the price transparency implementation. But then we also here have a lot more details on the patient financial communications resources, which if you click on this link right here, which we're going to go to our website next, and I'm going to do a quick demo on just a few key areas in the website. But if I click here, it's going to bring us to our healthcare dollars and cents, which is under our industry initiatives, which is a great place to kind of explore all of the different initiatives here, a lot of content to view. But if I scroll down, you can see all the details here, more information on price transparency, and more details on the patient financial communications. So now just going back to our website here. So of course, many of you probably are familiar with our website, but if not, this is just a quick overview. We always showcase the newest HFM magazine right here. If you're ever interested in past issues, you can view our topics and go to HFM, and you can see all of the archived issues for the past year right there. And then we have our profile. The profile, what I want to highlight in the profile is just making sure the information is up to date always. We do, whether that's your contact information, etc. So here's the important box here. You want to make sure is always up to date. Your username and primary email is typically your work email. But then there's a recovery email address. So be sure to always fill that out just in case, so you can have access to your benefits at all times. We also have our primary address listed here. So this is going to be your mailing address. If you are remote right now, I definitely encourage you to update this so that you are getting the magazine if you're signed up for print, or any other mailings that we do send out. The other thing to note on this page is that if there's any new members to HFMA that are not quite familiar with the website, this video is a really great overview for them. So they can view this and kind of get a quick little tour of the website itself. And then, of course, the few other places that you can explore too. But I'm more focused on just the customizing. So we'll go to the My Communication Preferences. That's where you can customize what content you receive from us. So we have a lot of different newsletters to choose from, a lot of different events that you can request information about. So you can just pick and choose what fits for you. We also have a For You settings over here. So that For You button is right up here on the top of the page. This is a custom curated page for you. So we do have a lot of content on the website and a lot of different topic areas. And this gives you a chance to kind of filter and drill into the content that you want to see. So if you haven't already set it up, it would be blank and you would see a kind of customize your settings right there. But otherwise, if you have set it up, you can edit your settings there and you can pick and choose what you want to see. So maybe I want all of accounting and finance. I want maybe a few of these items under finance and business strategy, and so on. And then you click on submit and you're all set. So just, and then to review some of the other tabs that we have. So topics, again, this is where our HFM is. We have a blog, our podcasts are here. As you see, our news section, and then different topic areas. Our industry initiatives that I already mentioned are right here. Career development, this is where you're going to find all of the education that we offer. You can't, when you are in there, you can filter by topic, delivery method, by type, so what you want to see here, and you can drill down further. What you can also see too is we have some learning paths, and if you're interested in, say, business strategy and analytics, you click on Learn More, and it'll give you the different courses that we recommend or certifications that we recommend for that particular path. And stay tuned for we're lots of updates coming along the way. Next year, we'll be updating our courses, so stay tuned for more information regarding that. We have our tools here, so you can find peer-reviewed organization products and services. And you can even find our buyer's resource guide here and our find a chapter. So if you want to find a chapter for your area, you can locate it right. You can click on this button and you can see all the states, and you can choose your chapter from there. And then it'll have a link to the chapter's website. We then have our events listed here. So this will show you any of our live webinars. You can also see those under our career development, but you can see all of our upcoming ones. So we have 9 right now. So again, check back weekly because they do update. We get them almost every new ones almost every week now. And then the last thing I wanted to review is the community. So if you have not, if you've not yet taken a look at the community, if you're familiar with the forums in the past, before we kind of updated our website, we had, you know, a CFO forum, a legal and regulatory forum, a revenue cycle forum, and those now live within our community. So you'll see those right there. And you'll see all of the different groups that we have. So right now I'm in the payment and reimbursement. If you go to, in these forums, you know, we're going to have more, a library of items to look at too. So you can see all of the, you know, we have some top tools here, the library. So we have more documents there. So it's great to take a look at these groups and look and, you know, kind of dive into the library and the resources that are available there. Let's see, I definitely recommend if you're just getting started with the community, you know, check out the open forum. That's a really great one to get started with, and the membership resource forum. Sorry, I'm a little clicky today. Once you're in the community platform too, this is a separate platform from the HFMA website. We did enhance it over the last year. And you can update your settings. So it's much like any other social media platform. You know, you're going to get notifications as they come, but you can update update those preferences by going to the email digest and clicking on whether you want those daily, weekly, or if it says not subscribed, that just means that you're going to get the updates as they happen. You can also then take a few minutes to update what notifications you do want to be alerted by. So then this is where you can kind of pick and choose what you really, what email alerts are sent to you so that they don't clog your email box. And so that, that kind of ends my part of the presentation. Now I want, so I will now hand it right on over to our chapters team.
Thanks, Heather. I just want to say on behalf of the board of the Michigan Great Lakes chapter to thank Spectrum Health for working with the association to put this together, to invite us to give a little presentation of what we are doing, how we are set up, and ways that you would be able to get involved and get more out of your membership. So we are very appreciative of this opportunity to share with you our structure and you know, all the opportunities that there is to get involved. I think we need to go to the next slide, please. So just an agenda overview of what we're going to cover today is a general overview of our chapter structure, and then the various opportunities for involvement. So, you know, we have communication, committees, enterprise, certification best practices, sponsorship, and a whole lot more. Next slide, please. So one of the things we want to discuss is, you know, the chapter integration. So for those of you that are new to HFMA, you may not be aware, but we recently merged 3 chapters into one Michigan Great Lakes chapter. And the past chapters, you know, we have on the slide the Western, the Eastern, and the Great Lakes chapter. So we've brought all of these chapters together, and really our main purpose as the local chapter of HFMA is to provide timely, informative, and meaningful educational programs and networking opportunities to healthcare finance professionals. And our chapter's programs are designed to allow members to maximize the benefits of their HFMA membership. Next slide, please. a little bit about our chapter structure. So first of all, we have a unique structure for this 2021 because it is the first year of the One Michigan Great Lakes chapter. And so in this year, we have 3 past presidents, but typically we have just 6 positions, which is the president, president-elect, vice president, secretary, treasurer, and the past president. And everyone in the officer position serves 1-year terms, except for the treasurer. And the treasurer has a 2-year term. And a lot of that is based on just the uniqueness and the information that has to be done, and have some, time to really get involved and understand the role, and then have that expertise to continue. So just a little bit of background on me before we get started is that I have been a member of HFMA now for the past 13 years. I've been in healthcare for 25 years. And originally when I started, I just really liked the education opportunities that it provided to me. It was very beneficial in my role in reimbursement. And as a few years went by, then I got slowly involved with registration, just real small steps. I helped with one program during a year for a couple of years. And then I started getting involved in directorship and then moving into the officer track. So we talked about the different officers. And in order to be considered for an officer position, you have to have served at least 1 year as a director. So we have 9 directors in our chapter. We have 5 that serve 1-year terms and 4 that serve 2-year terms. And that's to provide continuity as in leadership. And there are roles that you may maintain multiple terms for. But like I said, there's a 5-year term and a 2-year term. Next slide, please. So just a little background on who are the officers. So I have myself here as the president. We have the president-elect, Jason Williams, Kelly Williams. No relation to Jason, is the vice president. Next slide, please. And then we have Deborah Wiley-Crossan as the treasurer and Haley Kochi as our secretary. Next slide, please. Our past presidents are Bill, Rick, and Mark. And I didn't go into all of the individuals where they work, but hopefully you took note of the various diversity in role in organizations that those in the leadership role are a part of. Next, please. So next, we are going into the opportunities, and a lot of the opportunities relate to our director positions and their specific roles and functions and committees that are underneath them. And so I'm going to let each of them talk to you about what opportunities there are within their organization structure. Next, please. Okay, so I would let him talk, but Tom was not able to join us today. He had a client issue come up, and so he had to, unfortunately, he was not able to join us. So Tom is our communications director. He works for CBM Services out of like the Midland area. And this, as part of the 3 chapters forming together, we have a lot of different things that we are doing. And one of the things is that we are, with the help of the association, going to be transitioning to a new website. That website is coming soon. But in the interim, we do have a current website that has some chapter information on it that has been adjusted for the Michigan Great Lakes chapter. And it's listed here on the slide. You can go there to check it out. You can see president's message. You can see sponsorship opportunities. You can see educational opportunities. And a variety of information is on that. In addition, I say there's a new committee forming relative to social media, because we need assistance with merging of the 3 chapters and rebranding of our social media content. And so, to provide input on the platforms, on social media posting, on help deciding what kind of content to put out on the social media platforms. And so if you have any interest in, getting involved in the chapter, this is something that can provide a pathway, and it's a need that we have to have people with desire, expertise, creativity to help us in that realm. Next. Take it away, Mike.
All right, thanks, Nancy. Good to be with you all today. My name is Mike Connolly. I'm an assurance manager within our healthcare practice at Plant Moran. So I spend all my time working with multi-hospital health systems, community hospitals, senior living organizations, and enjoying collaborating with everybody on all of what 2020 has meant for the healthcare community. So I am the programs director for the Michigan chapter. I was in the same role for the Western Michigan chapter prior to the consolidation that Nancy just walked the group through. So really, programs is essentially one of our 2 avenues through which we coordinate the most of our events. So if you like coordinating events, think it through speakers. If you've ever thought that, oh, well, this person would be a great presenter for X, Y, or Z meeting, or, you just enjoy attending meetings from a networking perspective, or just feel like that's a place you could add value, that's certainly one of the most natural ways to get involved with HFMA, because that's really at the core of a lot of what we do. Our events are where we really facilitate a lot of learning and education, opportunities to meet and connect with folks that you maybe haven't met before, or HFMA is a place where you'll basically have HFMA friends who become actual friends and colleagues in the future. So it's a great way to really expand your network and to contribute towards the educational aspects of HFMA, and has been meaningful for me in that perspective. Just specifically, I guess, on the type of education that programs technically is responsible for, we are, as you see on the screen here, responsible for what I'll call our larger conferences and general meetings. So that would be our spring and fall conferences that are historically multi-day in-person events. Women in Leadership is one of the key initiatives of the programs committee. Early careerist events is one I'm particularly excited about. And then we have, what I'll just call general meetings or hot topics, where we'll just have a potpourri of topics on a range of issues. So, programs really focuses on larger events, providing people opportunities to network, to receive education on a variety of topics. So that could be from something as generic, I'll say, as leadership style, to we'll then have very specific technical issues also in some of the sessions. So it's really a nice variety, and I'd welcome anybody that would be interested in participating. We do have a separate committee for what we call education, that gets more into the nitty-gritty on the technical details. And I think we're covering that in the next slide with another Mike. So I'll turn it over to him.
All right, thank you, sir. Appreciate it, and welcome everyone, and glad to have you on the call here today. So as Mike kind of backdrop there, programs in education, separate and distinct, but yet similar in some way, shape, and form. Education is typically responsible for areas of education, obviously, throughout the chapter. We have a handful of committees or framework, we'll call it maybe, kind of along the lines of business intelligence and decision support, financial accounting and reporting, for example, reimbursement and revenue cycle. So we have co-chairs throughout each of these areas. Each of these areas has opportunity for those that become involved. Some of these areas we could use resources today. Others, we're pretty much set for the year. So if anybody has interest, I would not hesitate to reach out. As when we do slide into the next fiscal year, there'll definitely be opportunities throughout each of these areas, to the best of my knowledge. So in addition to The handful of areas we talked about here, we've also done Finance 101 type education in the past, along with cost report education / cost report university, if you will. Each of those is actually kind of in the plans as of right now, so stay tuned for something on those, at least within the next year, I guess I would say. And outside of that, I think that's what I had on the past programs here. Just wanted to touch on this. We've got reimbursement update that we did late September. We'll have another one similar to that come late March. We'll probably shoot to do something along those lines twice a year going forward. So again, thanks for everybody join, and look forward to working with those who have interest in becoming involved on the education side. Thank you.
So we also have a key focus group, and this group, Doug Banks leads it, and he was not able to join with us today either. But this group really works hand in hand with education and programs. And these are key focus areas that the association has really asked chapters to review, delve into, concentrate on. And so we have 4 areas. So we have a payer contracting, we have physicians, women in leadership, and early careerist. And we currently do have programs set up specific with women in leadership and early careerist, but we are looking to get some individuals. So another area for involvement, if you are interested, relative to payer contracting issues, concerns, education in that realm. And as well as physicians, we have a number of organizations across the state that have employed physicians or do contracting with physicians. And so they have some unique financial arrangements and concerns. And so we are really looking to be able to develop committees with those key group focus areas that would then lead into education and programming for that area. So like we have done, we have included email addresses for all of the directors with their contact information. And so if you are interested in any of these areas, or just curious about what they do specifically, or you have an idea for a education session or a topic, we really encourage you to please reach out and connect with them. Next slide, please.
Good morning. I'm Ariana Raymond. I'm the membership director for the HFMA Michigan Great Lakes chapter. My area is responsible for our new member outreach and for student outreach, where we have some university liaisons that go out to some of our local universities for events. I have been in HFMA for about 6 years and in healthcare for about 8 years. During the day, I'm a manager for Medicare provider enrollment at one of the health systems, Trinity Health. I got involved with HFMA by attending a couple events and then volunteering in small capacities initially, just to kind of get my feet wet. I started with helping with things like registration tables and just general event help at some of our conferences. After that, I got a little more involved by becoming a co-chair of one of our committees. That's the Early Careers Committee, which I'm still involved with. I've also participated in our revenue cycle committees and our Women in Leadership Committee. I'm still a volunteer for that. That's a great committee that puts on a couple annual conferences a year. And then the Early Careers Committee really focuses on skills building and networking. We think it's like a 2-part thing. So we focus on network opportunities, and we also focus on things like skills workshops, HR workshops. We did a 2-part series on Microsoft Teams. The membership committee is always interested in hearing from anyone who would like to be a greater part of any of these different committees or opportunities that you hear about, we can get you directly connected with the appropriate director or committee chair. So please reach out if there's anything you hear about today that you want to learn more about. Our committee also reaches out to new members as they join, and we try to help coordinate the events at our local universities. So with that, I'll go ahead and turn it over to Josh Richards.
Thanks, Ariana. So my name is Josh Richards. I'm the Enterprise Membership Director. Like Mike Conley, I work at Plant Moran, been there about 12 years or so now. Senior manager in our healthcare practice, so audit, consulting, et cetera, for largely our larger hospital and health systems locally and nationally. Been involved in HFMA for about a decade. Similarly, like Ariana, I've really continued to expand my role in the chapter, slowly volunteering more and more. And it's really been a great experience so far. I really had a lot of fun, enjoyed the people and the work that the chapter does. So with respect to enterprise membership, one of the reasons we're here talking with everybody on the phone today is you guys are enterprise members. So an interesting thing with our chapter, we have about 90% of our members, and we have a little over, I think, 5,000 members are enterprise. And really that's largely due to the substantial health systems in the state, and most of those being enterprise members. So, with the enterprise membership, another area for folks to get involved if they would like. And really there's kind of a couple pillars and have them listed on the slide here that we'd like to kind of frame the enterprise membership and how we can work with those individuals. So one is figuring out how to reach out to those members, when, with what, how often, onboarding new enterprise members. So for example, what communication do those folks get? Who should that come from? Communication with current enterprise members, and when folks renew, reminder, you have your HFMA membership, and here's the benefits. And then really continuing to expand the program. So how can we get more of the organization's members to join, to be active, to obtain certifications, to attend events, webinars, et cetera. And really all of these things are items that folks can assist with. And there are enterprise leads at each various organization, but nonetheless, the working through the communication with those folks is something that we can always use help for. So if anybody's interested in that, please reach out, and we can connect on what that looks like. And with that, I'll turn it over to Nicole. Nicole, you're on mute, I think. I don't know if anybody else can.
Hey, Nicole, are you having some issues?
I see her, but I don't hear her.
It looks like it's connecting to audio, so we'll give it a second here. Maybe try dialing in with a cell phone, I think, when technology complicates things.
She said to come back to her so we can skip ahead, maybe.
All right.
Can everyone hear me? This is Michelle. It cannot start my video, but
Yes.
I can definitely go ahead. I'm Michelle McElhaney. I work for Spectrum Health. I am a lead financial analyst here at Spectrum Health and have been here a little over 13 years. I have been with HFMA since about 2013, so about 7 years, and pretty much started working on some committees just as a member, helping out with committees, getting started. I always thought one of the most important things that kind of happened in my situation with HFMA anyway is that networking is really, really a great thing in this whole organization, just because you get to meet so many people. And that's how I became involved. Sometimes it just takes somebody to actually ask you, hey, would you be interested in doing something? And it might not have occurred to me at the time, but that's kind of when I started really becoming involved. I've only been part of the board or a director since last year. I started on the program committee, working as the co-chair with Mike Connolly, and then this year the director of the networking committee. So a little bit newer. And when I first signed on for the position, it was like, oh, I can't wait to do all these in-person fun activities. And it's kind of a little bit different direction that we're going into, starting out with in the virtual world. So we're just getting started with that. Forming our committee. I think we have about 5 of us so far that have connected and are getting started. We haven't started our first meeting yet. So like I said, that just went out about a week or 2 ago to try to recruit people to this networking committee. Looking for really some great ideas on how do we do this virtually. What we're kind of thinking is to try to have a couple standalone events that we can do some fun activity, and then maybe trying to incorporate a couple things into the programs or education committees or the different programs that we have set up for that. So in the past, during maybe our reimbursement meeting that we have set up, or maybe our physician segment that we've had in March, we tried to develop some of those networking type things, fun things, into those meetings that we had. So just some ideas, and I've included my email address there. So if people are interested, please send them our way, because we would really love to have some of those people and ideas on this committee.
Team, I think I'm here. Thanks, Michelle.
Okay, yep, go ahead.
Awesome. I'm so sorry about that. How embarrassing. So I'm Nicole Neeson. I actually work in IS, and I've been honored to work with some of you both through HFMA and also through my regular daytime job. So I first want to thank Courtney Guernsey for leading our Women in Leadership Conference, which is coming up here in January. Christy is also extremely involved. And of the 5,100 members we have in the Great Lakes chapter, about 4% are certified. And if you look at Spectrum Health's numbers, your teammates, you have 22% certification, and that is just tremendous. So congratulations on all the hard work that you've put into the certification program. And we are proposing to work on you with a best practice to be able to share what you've done with other enterprise members, because it's pretty amazing how you have encouraged your teammates to be involved in the certification process. So if you are interested in helping us implement a toolkit and replicate some of the hard work that you've done as a best practice, we'd be more than interested in working together to do that. So congratulations, and thank you for your commitment to HFMA.
All right, good morning, everyone. My name is Jason Rohr. I am the reimbursement supervisor at Sparrow Health System down in Lansing. So keeping things on the west side of the state here. Everything that everyone has talked about to this point has been, great value for the members, getting involved in programs or, networking or many different things. And the one thing that really hasn't been brought up yet is the resources that are necessary to make those things possible. And that's where the sponsorship committee comes into play. And I'm very privileged to be leading that this year. We have really 3 different areas of focus for this committee: annual sponsorship, event sponsorship, and conference sponsorship. Now, some of those are, I'll say, intertwined a little bit, but I'll explain more very briefly. So we try to approach, we're going to try to approach, I should say, between 100 organizations, if not more, to see who would be interested in supporting our chapter and providing all opportunities to all 5,000 plus members that we have in our chapter. Annual sponsorship has been a big challenge in the past because, we're asking for a lot of money from these sponsors, and trying to make sure we're providing the value that they need to continue to do that is, it's becoming more difficult, just as COVID has been for a lot of systems. So event sponsorship, we'll talk about that just briefly. We have like some women in leadership events that are taking place on the western side of the state and also on the eastern side of the state. And those are primarily sponsored. They're stand events. So Spectrum has been very gracious to us now, at least for a couple of years, in the Western Michigan Women Leadership event as the title sponsor for that, and certainly appreciate that. There's also been a Dykema Gossett event down on the eastern side of the state that has generated its own sponsorship. So those are just a few examples of single events that are not big conferences, but they're large enough to generate their own value. Conference sponsorships are huge. This is for the spring conference and the fall conference. They're typically 2-3-day events, depending on the conference. And sponsors can exhibit. They can have tables set up. They can talk to attendees. They can really try to figure out, is there a relationship here that we can make work? So, we try to provide those opportunities. And like I said, the name of the game here is value. And in a day and age where, dollars are limited, not just for hospitals and health systems, but also for these third-party organizations that help us so much. So they're, it's a big ask for us. And so it's to take an accountant who's somewhat of an introvert and really, try and make this happen. It's another example of what Mike Connolly alluded to earlier, and that, it's all about people in this organization. It really is. And, you got friends in HFMA that become just their friends. You can take the HFMA tag off it, and this is just another great opportunity to meet some great people that, their line of work is just a little bit different. So thank you all for listening in. Hope you've enjoyed everything to this point, and I'll turn it back over to Nancy.
Thanks, Jason. And I think you hit on a couple of really good things, like, we welcome everyone's involvement. And one of the great things about HFMA is the connections that you make. We've had some wonderful opportunities in the past through different conferences and different programs just to connect. And like you said, we're in this new world with a lot of things virtually. So we're just making our way through and trying to make the best of it. But it doesn't change the fact that, when you've been involved with HFMA, you really get to know people that you typically wouldn't be have connections with. And I actually ran into someone shopping here locally. I live in the Hazlitt Lansing area. So I ran into a former board member at Meyer the other day, and I was like, oh my gosh. And so in this day when I'm not really seeing many people and I'm out shopping, it was really nice to connect with them. The other great thing about HFMA that we haven't touched on before in getting involved is you really do get out of it what you put into it. So, you know, the education we provide and the opportunities for education is really a great thing. But we also have this, as you get more involved, you actually can, you know, do things outside your comfort zone. Like Jason said, he's an introvert, and really having to go through and take the challenge, right? Show what's been use what you have, and you can apply some lessons, you can apply some skills to some of the volunteer activity. And we have a lot of things that, a lot of different areas of involvement that you can come and join us with. It also helps, in some ways, it's a place that is gives you opportunity to grow within the industry. And it might be something that you don't have an opportunity for leadership within your role specifically, but it gives you that opportunity outside of it that really adds to the value of what you are able to provide in your job. So, so it really leads us now, I believe, into questions that we have for you. Next slide, please. Is feedback. You know, what areas would you like us to focus on as your local chapter? What type of educations do you want us to provide? Opportunities to connect? Any ideas for improvement? Or anything that you have questions on or are curious about? You know, we want to hear from you. So I don't know if there's been any chat or any questions in the chat, or I know this is set up so that people could unmute themselves if they wanted to ask a question live or provide any feedback live.
Yes. So I'm just going through a few of the questions here. The first question was if this was going to be recorded, and yes, it will be recorded. Let's see, do we have any recent questions here? No, it doesn't look like we have any yet. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to unmute and ask, or you can type them into the group chat.
Hi, this is Corey Dowdle. Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Hi, I'm an employee with Spectrum Health. I've actually been aware of HFMA to some degree, that it existed, and that I had opportunities to become involved with it. I think I was made aware like 2 years ago. That said, I get a lot of emails that actually go to my junk mail. But then recently, someone within our space, and I can't even remember who now, reached out and kind of said, hey, do you want to get involved and listen to this? And so I just really thought this was a great presentation, a good overview. Certainly as someone kind of new to it, you know, I'm intrigued by the overall organization and chapter, but certainly just kind of want to get my feet wet and get started with maybe some of the courses and training available to me at first. Would I do that do I do that on my own? Do I work with someone from Spectrum Health? Do I work with someone within the chapter that kind of runs that space? What's the best way to kind of get in there? I saw some of the learning paths. But I have, you know, just additional questions around, like, what is the certification like? What does that process look like? What are the best certifications for a particular person in their role, and some of that?
Yeah, so we have so in the beginning of the presentation, you know, I kind of went through a really quick overview of the benefits available, and that was at the national level. So there's education for you at the national level, but then also at the chapter level. I could speak to at least the national one, and what I will provide after today is we have this wonderful certification comparison chart where it'll show you all of the certifications that we have. And then also, and it gives you a lot of details of, what kind of the assessment information, the roles that it's for, a lot of good information to review for you there. So we can start with that part.
Yeah, that would be
and then
great.
I also have another one pager that kind of gives a overview of the different courses that we have and the groupings there to kind of help you along. We're always here, so I'm always here to help with, kind of go through a demo of what's available for you. We can certainly do something like that. So you can always reach out and we can schedule some time to kind of review in more depth the education that at least National offers. Maybe does someone want to speak to the chapter portion?
So this is Nancy. I'll just speak briefly with the chapter portion. So we don't have any certification per se. That is all at the national level. But if there's a specific area that you're interested in, so depending on your position, if you're in revenue cycle, in accounting, in finance, in reimbursement, I would encourage you to reach out to either Mike or Michael or both of them, and they can connect you or let you know what opportunities will be coming, or encourage you to get involved. And then I don't know, Nicole, if you want to speak on the certifications at the chapter level.
Sure. I think it would be great, Corey, to take a look at that certification chart. And the common ones that we do see are the CRCR and the HFM or the CHFP. So Certified Healthcare Finance Professional and the Certified Revenue Cycle Representative are two pretty popular certifications. So I would take a look at that. And then a lot of the leadership at Spectrum Health on this call are certified. So it would be helpful to speak with one of them to see which ones they see are valuable as well. But I think that there's a lot of opportunity.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
All of you.
And if I'm not mistaken, I believe Hannah has a lunch and learn as well in your organization. So that could be another way, another avenue to get more information.
Great, thank you. I'll look for that.
Mm-hmm. And these slides will be available to you at the end of this call too. So we will provide these and you'll have everyone's contact information. Any other questions? I did want to, the next slide I have on here is just the national contact information. So you had all the other, everyone's emails on the other slides. These are the contact information for myself. We have our enterprise mailbox. So this is just our general mailbox. So any kind of general inquiries you have, you can send them there. And we have a team of specialists manning that. And then our chapters team too. So if you have any questions in general, you can contact that team right there.
And I will just add real briefly that a big thank you to Spectrum Health and to the association for allowing us to provide this information to you. I think it's been very beneficial for us as the local leadership. And hopefully it's been beneficial to you and you found it to be informative.
Yes, thank you so much, everyone from the chapter. This is it's always wonderful to work together, and we hope. And if you have any questions, please reach out. We're always happy to help. Thank you all for taking the time on this Friday. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe out there and healthy, and thank you for all that you guys do.